Alright, gang, that was Catcher in the Rye from Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy, and it is a favorite of mine from that album, and one of my favorite parts on it is the guitar work in that bad boy. And when you think of guitar work and you think of Guns N' Roses, nowadays you think of none other than Bumblefoot, who is with me now on the phone from Las Vegas. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hanging in there. Can't complain. Kind of wishing I was in Vegas with you.
Should be. Should be in Vegas. It's a crazy place. Although we would probably, by tomorrow or the next day, be like, I gotta get out of here. This is too much.
Well, I tell you, I get down to Atlantic City every now and again, and I can do about 2 or 3 days there. Vegas would worry me.
Yeah, Atlantic City is cool. Vegas is definitely turning the intensity knob up. Like, I guess the only places, bigger than, crazier than this, maybe if you went to Amsterdam. I mean, they're all just kind of like playgrounds for grown-ups,
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, before we get into the reason why you and the guys at Guns N' Roses are in Vegas, everyone knows you guys were on tour all this summer. You guys literally went pretty much anywhere, am I right?
We've been to a lot of places. What's left, I think, Africa and Antarctica. All that's left.
Wow.
Some places, I guess, the Philippines is one that I would love to go to that we haven't yet. Definitely, there's a lot of world out there, and it's the kind of thing where once you hit it all, you gotta turn around and hit it again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. How was all the shows that you guys did this summer? Everything went smooth? Everything was good?
Well, nothing ever goes smooth in G&R world, but if we made it onto the stage in roughly the same day that we're supposed to be on stage, and we finished the show, and nobody's bloody.
That's always.
We got that far.
Yeah.
We did like 3 dozen shows. Like we did, I think we did like 35 shows. We started in Moscow, and then we jumped all the way to Dublin, and slowly worked our way across over to Eastern Europe again. Then came back and finished up in Spain on the actually an island off of Spain, Majorca, and there was some beautiful places. It was definitely it was almost 3 months.
Wow, you guys definitely got some. It's safe to say you got some good frequent flyer miles in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's I gotta say that's one area where I envy guys like you on, is you get to see places in the world where us regular folk only dream of going. You guys get to see.
Look, there's nothing stopping anyone from just making travel a priority. If you really love traveling, or if you just want to travel, just do it. Just save your money, get the plane ticket, get a hotel, and pick a spot in the world to start there and go see it. It's doable. Completely doable. I mean, it ain't cheap, but it's worth it. I mean, I'll tell you, traveling is such a broadening experience. And everyone listening out there, I highly recommend it. Travel. That's my profound statement for this podcast.
For this interview is travel. You heard it. Bumblefoot says, get your ass out there and travel. See the world, do your thing. That's Bumblefoot's word of the day.
Yeah, and it's funny because a lot of people have so many strong opinions about places they've never been. And I would get, especially the Middle East. If you go to Tel Aviv, or if you go to Dubai, I've been to both this summer. And so many people that have never been to either would get in touch with me and say, don't do it, it's a war zone. You're going to cut your head off. And all this crazy stuff. And they have no idea. You go there and it's more civilized than New Jersey.
I think a lot of places... I think a lot of places are more civilized than New Jersey.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've enjoyed New Jersey, though. I have. I was born in Brooklyn. I've lived in New York my whole life. And when you're from New York, all you do is you make fun of Jersey.
Yeah.
That fun kind of rivalry, you don't really mean it, but you bust on your neighbor. But inevitably you move to Jersey, and your first thoughts are like, oh man, I spent all my time making fun of this place. Now I'm in Jersey. I've had a great life in Jersey, and it's been a great place to live. In central Jersey, it's a quick drive to the beach. It's a quick drive to Manhattan. It's a quick drive to Newark Airport to get anywhere. There's a lot of good local farms and good food. Very strong seasons. Right now is a very colorful time of year. Yeah.
No, man, I hear you, man. I mean, I'm in and out of Jersey, like I said, for Atlantic City mainly. Gotta be there this weekend to go to Under My Skin to get some new tattoo work done. And I know honestly, the only time I make fun of Jersey is hockey season. That's
Devil. So what are you, Rangers or Islanders?
I'm a Rangers fan.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's the only time we take it seriously, is when it comes to hockey. Otherwise, everyone's all good. I've got nothing but good things about Jersey. I've done a couple of shows. I've been to at the House of Blues in Atlantic City, and great venue, and all the people there are just phenomenal people. So, as you said, we make fun, but it's all in good fun, nothing serious.
Absolutely.
So now that you guys are doing your world gallivant, you guys are doing a bunch of dates at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino there in Vegas. You're there now through, let me look at the calendar, through November 24th. And I mean, that's gotta be a little bit something different for you guys, considering you don't have to travel. When the show's over, you kind of get to chill out.
Yeah, when the show is over, I just walk upstairs. And when it's time to do the show, I just walk downstairs. And there's something that could make you very spoiled about that. Not like finish a show and you go to a hotel and pack and get ready and you fly for 10 hours and do it again. It's definitely going to be comfortable. Nothing else. It's going to be comfortable. And what's also interesting about it is that all the fans are staying there. That it's like, you go downstairs to eat and they're all there, and you go to the bar, the center bar, and they're all there. And so it's going to be more of a communal kind of thing where it's going to be very social. And it's not going to be as separate as it usually is when you do your show and then the road manager's like, all right, the band waits in a half hour, you got to get out of here.
Is that something?
Your time is just there.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys are looking forward to that. I mean, over the years, unfortunately, people have their interpretation of every band is, if word gets out there, they don't talk to nobody, they just do their show when they leave, and I'm sure it's kind of comforting to know that you guys are actually going to have the opportunity to kind of get to know some of the fans that are going to make a point to get out to Vegas to see you guys during these shows.
I mean, usually we're kind of like that anyway. Like if we're somewhere for a couple of days, we're some local bar and there's fans there, and we're all drinking together and hanging out and chatting, or whatever it is. And speaking for myself, I'll be Twitter and Facebook and answering messages, and I feel like I already know so many of them. And they get in touch and they let me know which shows they're going to, and I'm expecting them and waiting for them. And then it's nice to see them. It's nice to see familiar faces and kind of catch up on things. So it's pretty cool. It's going to be good.
I guess it almost kind of makes every show feel like it's a home show when you see those familiar faces.
Yeah, and I think here it's definitely going to feel that way after doing 12 shows in the same venue in the same place. It's going to feel like you're just going into your living room and jamming with your friends. Like that's how it's going to feel.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it'll be an amazing vibe too. I mean, between the band, you guys and the fans as well. I'm sure there'll be some amazing energy in that room.
It's not a huge venue, so there's not going to be that big separation between us and them. And when you're playing a huge stage and then there's a barricade, and you can make out the first couple of rows of faces, and then it just becomes a sea of heads. You start getting a disconnected feeling. You feel like you're two-dimensional, like you're just a movie that they're watching sometimes. We said you do it from months on the road. And personally, I love doing the smaller shows where you could just reach out and let them play your guitar and shake hands and kind of joke back and forth and yell stuff to each other from the stage and from the audience. And you're just more together. And I like it better that way.
Yeah, and you know what it is too? It helps to kind of connect everyone. I mean, we've all been to shows in the big arenas, and everyone goes, yeah, it was a nice show. Where were you sitting? Oh, I was up near the roof. And then you hear, then you hear about...
I was half a mile away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And then you get these small venues like a House of Blues, where you even if you're in the back of the room, you're only 10 feet, 20 feet away, and it still has that intimacy to it. Well, if you decide you want to fight through the crowd, you go, you know what, screw it, I'm going up there and I'm going to get in Bumble's face,
Yeah.
But that's good.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good for everybody. Everybody enjoys that. I think the band enjoys it more, the audience enjoys it more, and it's like you got to remember, like it's not just putting on a show. It's everybody there is part of the show. The audience is part of the show. The whole thing is like one experience, and when you're in the audience, the people around you and what's going on in the audience, that's part of that experience. Like we're all part of what you leave with. So it's nice when it feels a little more that way.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, it has to have that. You don't want it to really feel like a concert. You want it to feel more like a party situation. Like everyone just happened to show up, and hey, there happened to be a performance kind of thing.
Yeah, good stuff. You know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been lucky enough to be part of, be able to attend shows from the local bar scene here in the New York area with the indie bands here, and I've been lucky enough to be, in smaller venues like the House of Blues in Atlantic City, where it's very intimate. I saw Alice Cooper there last December. I'm going down there in about 2 weeks to see Megadeth on the Countdown to Extinction. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I actually decided to treat myself and go for the VIP and do the meet and greet with the guys beforehand.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I had a good experience actually with Dave Mustaine back in January. I was at Gigantor, and I got gutsy. I bought floor seats. I was down by the barricade, And I don't know how Dave Mustaine managed to see me in a crowd of 1,000 people down on the floor, but he manages to see me when he comes out and does his look out over the venue, and he looks at me, points to me, kind of bows to say thank you, leans over to the security guard, hands him the guitar pick he used, and points to me to give me the guitar pick. And I was just like, whoa, you know.
That is cool.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Megadeth again at the House of Blues. And I wish this residency that you guys were doing was in Atlantic City and not in Vegas, because I tell you what, if it was in Atlantic City, I'd definitely be there with you guys now, that's for sure. But, sure. Yeah, so I mean, so now, is there any, I know you can't give away secrets of the show, because you want people to still come out and see it since it's running through the 24th, and, you know, I saw Jimmy Kimmel try to squeeze it out of Axl the other night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, but is there anything that maybe I could squeeze out of you that people maybe should look forward to or should expect from you guys that you guys don't normally do when you do the bigger arenas?
Oh, what are we going to do different? I mean, we've talked about changing up sets and making each night a little different. Our surprise is, if I tell you, it won't be a surprise.
Sure.
So,
well, you know, I
right
wouldn't...
Now, there's nothing major planned at this point.
Okay. Well, you know,
Axl's going to keep giving away hamburgers, you know, everyone watching the show and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, look, I had to ask. I wouldn't be doing my job as a radio DJ if, you know, I didn't try to sneak something out of you in regards to it.
You need the scoop. You need the scoop.
Yeah, hey, I got... Yeah, you know, I gotta try to do something, you know, what can I say? Eddie Trunk has 30-plus years on me, and I got ground to make up for. I try where I can, man. Yeah. But, no, I mean, I'm sure, I know it'll be a great show, and I gotta admit, that was fun the other night on Kimmel with the burgers, and not only that, but the Halloween tree story had me cracking up.
He's such a wise ass. Oh man.
Have you ever been there for his Halloween tree and seen the faces of the kids when they go, why don't we have one?
Never been to one of his Halloween parties. No. Actually, our first show that we're doing here is going to be on Halloween. I'm trying to figure out what dress up as. I was thinking, I had an idea. I mentioned it. Who do I mention it to? One of the guys in the band. Now we should all dress up as different Axl. One of us will have the handlebar mustache. One will have the cornrows. One will wear a kilt. And that was one idea I had.
Yeah,
I'll just be a band of Axl.
That'd be a piece of... Wow, that'd be something else. That would definitely be all over Twitter. That's for sure.
That'd be funny stuff. I don't know, I gotta think about it. You know what we should do? We should dress up as Halloween trees.
There you go.
I'm gonna dress up as a Halloween tree. I'm gonna dress up as Axl's Halloween tree.
Oh, that would be good. You know what, even better, you know what? Here's what you do for Halloween. Instead of, I don't know what kind of stage design you guys have in mind, but for the first show, being that it's, the first show is on Halloween, just have a big old Halloween tree in on stage. Let that be the centerpiece of the set.
Sure, that would be terrible. It's a great idea. We should do our own Halloween special, like a mock Charlie Brown thing.
Oh, that would be, yeah. And who dresses up as Snoopy is the question.
Who would be Snoopy? Who would be? Well, figure Dizzy would have to be Schroeder.
Yeah.
Who would be Charlie Brown? Well, I guess Axel would be Charlie Brown. Snoopy. I figure does any of the guys? Oh wait, Frank. What is his dad? Frank would have to be Pigpen. Oh, let me see. Who would be?
Snoopy.
Who in the band is blonde? Then they could be. Wait, who would be Marcy? Who would be Peppermint Patty?
I don't think you guys are. I don't know if you have enough members in the band to do the entire cast of Charlie Brown.
We can do it. We can pull it off. Lucy.
Oh, for sure.
Would be Lucy. Think about this.
Yeah.
Actually, we should poll your listeners and ask them who they think should be which character. If we were going to be Charlie Brown, we're going to be Peanuts character.
That'd be a good idea, but unfortunately the time this is being heard on Thursday, so Halloween will have passed. Right, this is the day after Halloween, so the Halloween, but it's always good to know for next year.
True, or we can just do Halloween weekend, whatever they get.
There you go.
Friday and Saturday.
Exactly. Or better yet, you know what? You pull a Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and you do it like the last show you guys have is November 24th, right around Thanksgiving. So you pull a Halloween for Thanksgiving routine.
That would rule.
That would be awesome. I
know who I want to be.
What do you want to be?
I want to be the school teacher. I want to be the school teacher.
So
all I'm going to do is I'm going to hide behind the stage, and I'm just going to play guitar like with the wah, and just between every song, I'm just going to go wah. That's it.
Oh, that is perfect. That's perfect because not only that, but it also gives you the opportunity to play around with it. You know, as the Beatles say, not the Beatles. It was Jimi Hendrix who was notorious for making his guitar speak, and you could bring all new life to that.
I like it.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to hear that you guys are doing this residency out there in Vegas, and I know you guys are there through November, and I'm looking at the itinerary after that. You guys are going off to India.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing 3 shows in India, and then we're doing a show in Indonesia. And then while in that part of the world, which is a part of the world I wanted to visit my whole life and just never had a chance to. So I'm thinking of either going to Bali for a couple of days after the last show before getting home and shoveling snow. Maybe up to Thailand. Got to figure it out.
I know you. You'll be in Indonesia and India, and you'll hear that we got like 13 feet of snow, and you'll just sit there and go, screw it. I'm staying here till the spring thaw.
Exactly. I'll see you all in April.
Yeah. The only thing you have to worry about is their monsoon season, I think. Is the only thing you got to worry about. But yeah, man. No, so like I said, these dates that you guys got coming up at the joint at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas are going to be amazing. If you don't have plans to get out there, get on out there. They are there through Saturday, November 24th. And other than if you don't get to those shows, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to follow these guys to India. Otherwise, wait till next. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait till next year. And that gets me to wonder. Before I let you go, because I know you're busy with everything going on in Vegas with the shows and all of that. What does the future hold for you and for GNR?
Let me see. For me, I've been producing artists. I need to write more of my own music as well. I'm doing an acoustic thing with Tony Harnell, whom many people know from the band TNT, the vocalist from the band TNT.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to start a band together 20 years ago when TNT split up, and it just didn't happen. But we got back in touch recently, and we started doing some acoustic stuff together. So we just did those Pledge Sang, and yeah, I got to give you the info on that as well. So we're going to do an acoustic album together, me and Tony Harnell and all his peoples, and we're going to be doing more New York shows. I believe the next show we have is the Cutting Room, New York, on January 18th. That's the next New York show.
Cool.
We're going to see if all comes together, he may come out to Vegas, and we'll do something out here next month as well, an acoustic show.
Nice.
And
and
we'll probably do some stuff in LA, like around NAMM.
Cool. Yeah,
We're going to do that. And
now, is that, how drastic is that for you in, I mean, I'm not a musician, so I never really am a good judgment on it, but how different is it for you to go from doing, what you're doing with the electric, with GNR and all your solo work, which is available on iTunes? Is it a different process for you sitting down doing something acoustically as opposed to sitting down with the electric and just letting it wail?
It's very different. Yeah, it's very different. It's with GNR, it is a very physical show. It's in 3-hour shows where I'm constantly switching guitars and wearing a big 30-pound double neck and running around the stage as much as I can, and it's very physical, and it's a lot about more visual. Where with, if I'm doing an acoustic thing with Tony Harnell, it's so stripped down and pure and organic and naked, and there's none of that. It's just all about close your eyes and you listen, and it's all about just having as much music integrity in it and all that stuff. And it's not that it's not like that with GNR as well. It's just that sort of dividing your energy between what you hear and what you see, where with an acoustic thing, so intimate and it's so raw, and it's just all about sound. It's all about what you hear, and just about focusing on that and being expressive, and it's about dynamics. It's not about just pummeling people, and it's very, I'd say it's more about being dynamic, highs and lows, where soft stuff is very gentle and touching, and the loud stuff really hits you hard.
Kind of taking it back to, back to the roots, I guess, taking all the showmanship out of it and just making it about the music and what the music is meant to be and what it's meant to feel like.
Yeah. Now, if people want to find out about what me and Tony are doing, what they should do, I'm going to show you a link. It is pledgemusic.com/project/Tony Harnell with 2 L's.
Okay, so that was Letch, Letch,
Pledge. Like I pledge allegiance.
Pledge, okay.
PLEGE music.com/project, plural, project/Tony Harnell, TonyHarnell. And we're doing some cool stuff, making the EP where, you pledge a certain amount, you get a, t-shirt, another amount, and I'll give you a phone call, and another amount will fly out and play and make all kinds of stuff. So it could be a lot of fun depending on how people want to get involved and how much support they give and all.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome, man. I tell you what, that's a great way for someone to say that they had a part in, helping make it happen.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I want to just make sure I got that right for everyone listening. It was pledgemusic.com/project/Tony Harnell.
You got it.
Alright, awesome. Wanted to make sure I got it right, and I will make sure I help get the word out for you over the interwebs. Everything is social now. You throw it up on Facebook and Twitter, and the world has it at their fingertips.
Yeah, it's become so much about just the direct relationship between the person making music and the people that want to hear it, and we give support to keep it going.
Awesome. And you know what? That's what it's all about. It's all about keeping the music going, keeping the scene going. It's why we do what we do here at BullSpikeRadio.com and all the other internet radio stations out there, and satellite radio, and whatever radio you listen to. It's all about keeping the music alive, and the main thing is you go out there and you support it by putting the money behind it. If you like what you hear, you should put the money behind it and not try to get it for free. I know things are tough, but I always tell people, if you like it, pay for it. I don't know what your philosophy is on that one, Bumblefoot, but that's mine.
Well, my philosophy is a bit skewed, being someone that has devoted their entire life making music and has made that leap where their way of putting food on the table is through music. So I'm very dependent, unfortunately, on the income I get from music. So, I mean, yeah.
Hey,
that's I would want people to value what I do. I don't think that people should be gouged where they have in the past and should be overpaying. Like, for example, even now, I think that price for tickets for live shows is idiotic. It is way too expensive, and something should be done to make it where it doesn't have to be that way. What that is, I don't know. There's so many hands in the cookie jar that I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to balance. How do you come up with a number for everybody that's fair, where it's good for the fan, but the venue and the promoter and the band is still able to get their piece of the action. It's you're right. It's a very fine line to dance around. But sometimes it's about research. I can tell you my own personal experience. Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie, I was just able to see that tour. If I would have saw it here in New York, it would have been $90 a ticket. I drove 3 hours to Connecticut, and it was $40 a ticket. And it just makes you wonder, why couldn't every show have been the same price? But nonetheless,
there are reasons. But there's got to be a better system that people aren't gouged. And that's the thing. It's like, yes, music shouldn't necessarily be always free. There should be options and choices, yes. But at the same time, music should not gouge people. It shouldn't be valueless, and people should be compensated for what they do.
No, you're 100%.
Everybody should be compensated for what they do, no matter what it is.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean,
don't rip people off.
Right. Like someone comes to the house and does work for you, you're going to pay them to do the work they did and the time that they took, and musicians are the same way. I know, I'm lucky enough to know several in the scene here in the New York area, and to know people like you, Bumblefoot. I'm lucky enough to say that I know you, and I'm honored to say that I know you, and I know you guys put a lot of time and effort, and it isn't just that time when you sit in the studio or when you're on stage. You guys are always working and putting your heart and soul into it, which is why I'm a big supporter of making sure music, people go out there and they pay for the music. They don't, download it illegally. Like, they pay for it because you guys put a lot of heart and soul and time into what you do, and you deserve to be, compensated for the work you do.
To me, where the real problem lies is now it's at a point where even a band that's just starting up, I know bands that are just trying to first get out there to get a record deal or something, and then the label can't even afford to put them on tour because no one is paying for the album, and the label has no money to use to support to the band. And I see all these young bands that are being crippled by the way things are right now.
Yeah, it's true.
That's like a major problem.
It is.
If a band chooses to give away their music and start off that way, or if anyone does, that's fine. That's totally cool. But I think that you shouldn't be forced into a situation where there's a bunch of people working to try and get this band up there, and they can't afford to do the work because everybody just took it.
No, you're 100% right.
They don't realize that they're really hurting a lot of the future, and that they never be, because their chances being taken away because they're not getting the support, because each person is being like a little piranha just taking a little bite, and there's nothing. There's just a carcass left.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I've listened to, I'm a listener of Eddie Trunk, and, even as a kid growing up, you always heard about how good album sales were, and, when you read into the numbers, the tour was usually the extra money, and the album sales is where all the money came from. And nowadays, everyone wants to complain tickets are overpriced, but they'll go and get the album illegally online, when, go buy a copy of the album, because if the album sales are good, then the ticket price for the live show doesn't necessarily have to be through the roof. There's a happy medium out there, and it all starts.
Yeah. There's also, it's like at the same time though, like if a band wants to just make their music free and then hit the road or whatever they want to do, it's good that they have that option as well. Like, we live in a time where you have every option of how you want to do things. But I think that it's important to make sure that we respect choices. That's the only thing, And I think it's great when bands can give away their music for free, and they can afford to. If they're young, if they're living at home, or if they just want to, whatever it is, that's great. If it's a dude that's like 50 and is trying to put his kids through college and has a mortgage payment, and and his life has been making music, and slowly his livelihood has been devalued little by little. It's his responsibility as a creative person to get creative and figure out how to make life work. But it's just it's a tricky time, and it's also a phenomenal time. Like, it's such an odd time to be a musician, because the world is at your fingertips. Anything you want to do, you can do. But at the same time, there's just not a lot of money in it, and it's hard to support yourself. And unfortunately, the mortgage company and utilities. They don't care.
Yeah.
They need to feed their families as well.
Yeah, when they want it, when they want their money, they come and get it. They don't care. They just want it. And unfortunately, like you say, it's a great time that we're living in, where you can be heard anywhere in the world, no matter where you're based out of. But as you said, it's also so new that no one really knows the perfect way to make everything work, where everyone gets their fair share without really hurting anyone else.
Yeah.
But I mean,
hey, like, people don't realize, like, if you can spend a year working on an album and then you put out the album and then you make a couple of $1,000 for a year of work, you're better off, wiping up vomit. Seriously, like, it is probably the most low-paying form of even call it work.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. We can go on and on about it, but at the same time, it's so much less expensive to make music. You don't have to rent a studio, and you don't have to manufacture CDs, and you don't have to have a distributor, and you don't have to have retail stores, and each person having to take their piece to stay in business. So just all the numbers have gone down as far as what it costs and what you make. I mean, it's a long thing, and it's not kind of thing where it's this or that. There's so many variables to take into account with it all, and in the end, it is what it is, and you just roll with it, and it's not so bad. I love the fact that, like, last year I didn't have to put out an album. I was able to just put out singles and put out transcriptions and put out recording stems and do all this stuff with each song and just put them out as I make them. And that's something that I would have loved to do my whole life if I could. So,
I would
say in the end,
I'm looking at your iTunes now, and from I'm looking at your iTunes listing now, and last year you started. The first thing you dropped was on the 18th of January, and it was almost like every other month you put something out, all the way through to December of last year.
Yeah, I was able to put out 9 songs, and that was pretty much the only thing that it was when I had to hit the road 3 months. So,
man.
Good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all about the music, and in the end, everyone has a good time, and sooner or later, everyone will figure out the happy medium.
And ultimately, the main goal is to get music out for people to hear, to share it. Because
exactly.
Really, in the end, you can't take anything with you. You're in the ground, nothing matters. The money, nothing matters, but the music will still be there. So really, what matters most is being able to share the music, and the fact that there's so many easy ways to do that now, good, definitely outweighs that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We come and go, but the music will last for all of time, is what it comes down to. And, I agree with that. And speaking of time, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You and I could go on and on and on for a long time.
We can go for hours.
Yes.
Talking about everything.
Absolutely, man. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time until you get the necessary downtime. I don't want to be part of a Twitter feed that says my performance suffered. I was on too long with Turbo of the Asylum. He kept me up late. No, I don't want to. I don't like that kind of PR. But
all right, it's cool. Then I guess we'll stop it here.
Yeah, man, we'll stop it here. Let me just thank you for joining me here inside the Asylum on BullSpikeRadio.com, and I appreciate everyone. Get out there. If you're in Vegas, get on down to the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Guns N' Roses with my man Bumblefoot is there now through November 24th. Tickets are available if you're not in Vegas. Get out there, go see the show. Otherwise, who knows when you'll get to see these guys again live here in the States.
Hopefully next year.
Hopefully, man.
Sometime next year.
Awesome, man.
Nothing's planned yet, but
hey, man,
hopefully something.
I hope so, man. I missed it the last time you guys were around, man. Before I let you go, let me have you. What should I play as we wrap things up here with you? Got anything particular? Do you want me to get out there, or?
Get up one more time.
Is there what?
Phone got a little funky.
Oh, my bad, man. Is there a song? What song would you like me to play? I always like to have my guests.
What song do we want to head out with?
Yeah.
Let me see. Are you allowed to use profanity
Oh,
in your songs?
Dude, this is internet radio, so whatever is in it, we can play.
Maybe something off my Abnormal album. Maybe one of the first two songs, the song Abnormal or song Glad to Be Here.
Yeah, we'll go with Glad to Be Here, because you know what, it was an honor, and I was glad to have you with me here inside the asylum. So how about we do that one? Sound good?
That sounds good.
All right, man.
Wonderful.
All right, here you go again. Stay tuned. More music to come here inside the asylum, and this is Bumblefoot himself with Glad to Be Here from his Abnormal album.
Thanks so much, man.
Anytime.